life can be brutal sometimes, especially if you're an ambitious man and you push yourself, you want to reach the next level, you challenge yourself, you want to grow. Well, guess what? Life is gonna give you these challenges because they are what makes you grow. But sometimes it really feels like a freight train just hit you square in the face. And when that happens, you've probably heard all the usual advice like suck it up, just push harder, be a man, yada yada yada. There's nothing wrong with this advice per se, but after being through a bunch of really tough situations myself, I can tell you that if it's the only thing you focus on, you will massively hold yourself back, you won't grow as much as you could, and the worst thing, you will be stuck with the same problems in the future again. And unfortunately, I see almost nobody talk about this, which is why I want to share with you my 4-step process for getting through any tough time and becoming a more confident, powerful, and masculine man in the end. I've been through some shit that I would not even wish on my worst enemy. My parents split when I was 4. I wanted to unalive myself when I was 8. I got spat at in school. I got bullied. I got verbally and emotionally abused by my partners. My mom called me fucking stupid when I quit my studies and said I want to do what makes me happy. I want to chase my dreams. I want to build a business. So we didn't talk for half a year. Then when I went on to work on that business, I spent 10, 12, 14 hours a day grinding away on it, sometimes working a whole month without taking a break. Guess what happened? Well, I went broke, had to go back to live with my grandma because I could not afford an apartment. My ex-girlfriend who, told me she loved me, wanted to have kids, wanted to marry me, who I wanted to marry. I genuinely thought she was the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Well, a week later, after she said these things, she broke up with me and then went straight to her friends to tell them about how I sucked in bed. So if you notice, it's really no wonder that I had a history of substance abuse for years, because I took really hard chemical drugs just to numb the pain. And, I showed up totally wrecked at my grandma's birthday. I had a situation where I took so many drugs that I was sitting between 2 garbage dumpsters at the back of a party, not being able to breathe properly, my heart racing. I wasn't able to move. I wasn't able to call for help. I seriously thought, this is how I'm going to go out. This is how my mom is going to find my body, between 2 fucking garbage dumpsters, overdosed on some shit. So it's been a wild ride, And the problem I had was that with all these things I faced, everything I faced in life, basically all the advice was to just suck it up and push harder. And I did that. 3 days after the breakup, I was back at the gym, I was back at work, I was doing my thing again. After that falling out with my mom, I went straight back to the grind. When I went broke, I didn't really stop, didn't take some time to breathe. I just said, fuck, let's go, let's keep doing this. And of course, it's great to not lose sight of your goals, and to keep the momentum. But the problem is when you do that, you kind of push everything else away. It forces you to suppress your emotions, to bury your pain, and to address and look at the things, that parts of yourself that caused this situation to begin with. It's kind of like fixing a broken pipe with a piece of tape. Yes, of course, it works short term and you can keep pumping water through it, but eventually the pipe is going to burst again, everything is going to get wet again, you're going to be stuck with the same mess again. And every time you fix it that way, it gets harder and harder because the leak gets bigger, there's residue from all that old tape, and it just becomes a messier situation every time. So what I'm telling you is this: to get through a hard time and to grow through it and to become confident and powerfully masculine man through it, the way is not to instantly keep grinding and keep pushing yourself harder and try harder. It is to stop and to muster the courage to look on the inside, to face the pain, to feel the pain, to look at the parts inside of yourself that are hurting and to heal them and to grow through that. And that is how you actually get through a tough time and come out better in the end. To do that, you have to understand that anytime life hits you in the face, there are 4 phases you go through. And how well you manage yourself during these phases will determine how fast you get through them and how much you grow. So here's the 4 phases and what you should and shouldn't do during them. The first phase is very simple. It's the hit. It's that moment when life swings that fucking baseball bat right square across your face. So for example, I still remember when I was at my ex-girlfriend's apartment and she told me she can't be with me anymore. My whole fucking world shattered because I had everything planned around that. I thought we were going to marry. We were already looking at apartments, everything. And there was just, because I was unaware of it back then, there was no sign of it before. It just came out of nothing. Fucking sucker punch right to the face. So it's the same for you when, like your major client leaves your business or someone dies in your family or all these like unforeseen circumstances that life just sometimes fucking slams in your face. What we often do when it happens, and it's a perfectly normal human reaction, is that we try to fight it. We resist it. Right? I tried to keep my ex-girlfriend there. I didn't want her to break up with me. And the problem is that this resistance keeps you stuck and causes suffering because you do not accept what just happened. So really, when you get hit, the best thing you can do is to adopt something I call the let it happen philosophy. It's very simple. Whatever happens to you in life, let it happen. If your partner breaks up with you, let them go. If your client decides to buy someone else's service, let them do it. If you get really, really sick all of a sudden, let it happen. The faster you accept what happened, the faster you will drop your resistance and the faster you will be able to move on. Life has already hit you in the face with that baseball bat. You can now take the bat and look at it and, bang your head against it and say, no, I don't want this hit to happen. Or you can just take it and accept it and move on. Phase number 2 comes right after the hit. Is the valley of despair. And this is when you feel like your whole world, has started to collapse. You get washed away by all these dark, uncomfortable emotions. It's almost like you're being sucked down in a pitch black valley and the walls are too slippery to climb out and it sucks you down, sucks you down, sucks you down, and it feels like there's nothing you can do about it. It happened to me when I was burned out and I realized that I had been grinding for years, hundreds and thousands of hours without much to show for it, or that's how it felt at the time. And of course, it washed over me. I felt so fucking worthless. I felt like an absolute loser. I felt like I had wasted the best years of my life. Everything. It really was not a fun time. It was really fucking dark. And when you feel like you're sucked down into this darkness, it's very natural to try to swim to the surface and to escape and to not feel it and, to get away from these uncomfortable emotions. But as the saying goes, the only way out is through. So instead of trying to escape these emotions, you have to sit with them. Because the escape you're looking for is at the bottom of that pit, at the bottom of this black mass that pulls you in, at the bottom of this darkness. But you have to sit with it. You have to be able to grieve, to let yourself feel it, to give yourself the space, to become an absolute non-functional mess for a few days, if that's what it takes, or for a few weeks even. This is not the time to be productive or to move your life forward, or to do something in the external world. Let go of all of that if you have to. Turn inside. That is where you will find the solution. That is where you find what you're looking for. But you have to sit with the uncomfortable shit. You have to grieve. You have to feel the emotions. You have to let it happen. And even if it feels like there's no way out, you're going to be stuck in there forever, your life is over, everything sucks, you just want to die, keep sitting with it. And I guarantee you that you will come out the other end and you will let go of all that pain and it will feel a lot better and you'll have everything you're so desperately craving in that moment. It will come to you, but you have to feel the pain first. And you will know when it was enough. Please don't make the same mistake as I did when my ex broke up with me. I gave myself like 3 days to grieve and then went straight back to work. Years later, that pain resurfaced. I had to go through all that shit again. It completely threw me off track in a phase in my life when I didn't want to be off track. So sit there until most of the pain is gone, until it has left your body, until you feel like you've let it go and you're free from it. By the way, if you find this video valuable so far, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any cool stuff in the future. Thank you. Phase number 3, after dark comes light, it is the ascent, right? You've been deep down in the valley of despair. Now you're climbing out on the other side. And this is when you've let go of most of the pain, when you've let go of these old parts of yourself, when you've healed, that is when you can start climbing again. When you've nurtured yourself, when you have more energy again, when not all your resources are focused on feeling these emotions and sitting with the pain, but you're actually getting an intrinsic drive again to climb higher, where you say, hey, wow, that was tough. Now I want to get out of here. Now I want to climb. Now I want to climb higher. Now I want to become the man that I'm destined to be. During this phase, you have to be really aware to not carry over any toxic patterns from the past. Because we humans are creatures of habit. And it's really easy to act the way you've always acted. So after my burnout, yes, I wanted to grow higher, and create something amazing and build the next business and everything. But I had to be really careful to not get into that same hustle and grind mode again that got me into this situation in the first place. So this is really a time where you can build better habits, positive relationships, all these nice things that you want to have, where you can rebuild yourself the way you want to be while letting go of all the old stuff that is no longer you. Phase number 4 is completion. And I say completion because everything you do in life, every relationship, every little piece of growth, every challenge, everything you go through, everything you build, it is a process. And at one point, this process is completed. And you can imagine this like, you climbed out of the valley of despair, had the ascent, and now you stand on top of a mountain and you can look back on everything you've done, you've gone through. But what you've gone through is no longer with you. You've let it go and you've transformed it. And you'll know you are there if you can look back at all these things without emotional attachment. For example, now I can look back at my ex-girlfriend and the relationship we had, and it doesn't cause any emotions anymore. I've fully accepted it and transformed it, and now it's just part of the past. And a lot of guys say, oh, they're over something, but they still carry it with them. They're still hurt and burned by the past. So now they're being overcautious and they're creating a new pattern that is not conducive to them living the life they really want and becoming a confident, powerfully masculine man who's free from all these chains and all these burns and scars and everything from the past. What you have to be really careful with is to not create your own hurt from the past. What I mean by that is that, you have definitely witnessed that. Some guy who got broken up with by his girlfriend and now is like, women ain't shit. Or some guy who got burned with money and now says, fucking rich people, they're all crooks. That kind of stuff. And that is only creating your own prison. And if you experience something like this, it means that there's something you have not transformed and let go of yet. Of course, you need to learn from past experiences, but you don't want to restrict yourself in your actions and become bitter. So to sum this up, what I really want you to take away from this is that when life hits you in the face, let yourself be hit in the face. Roll down into that valley of despair, grieve, give yourself the space, allow yourself to not be productive, to not get shit done, to just fucking be in pain. It's okay. It's okay to feel shitty. It's okay to be in pain. It's okay to not see the way out. Because I guarantee you, if you sit through that, the way out will appear. You will be able to climb up that mountain again and eventually stand up there, look back at everything and say, wow, I'm really fucking glad that happened because it has turned me into the man I am today. And that's a real magic of growth and going through these tough times. It's not what you achieve or build or create during them. It's the man you become, the better version of yourself you become. who is then able to create something and build a life for himself that the old version of you would not have even been able to dream of. Thank you so much for listening. I love you and wish you all the best. By the way, guys, if you want to grow and learn and become a better version of yourself with a strong community of like-minded, ambitious men who want to absolutely crush it and build their confidence, become more powerfully masculine so they can absolutely win in business, life, and their relationships, then I've got just the thing for you. I've recently launched a Heart and Hustle Tribe where I'm building the best online men's community on this planet. We've got over 20 members already and we are constantly growing, and it's going to be free for another month or so. So I highly recommend you check it out. The link is in the description. Check it out right now. Join us. It's going to be a massive boost to your personal growth, and it's going to help you build that powerful masculine confidence you're after.